Hello widget watchers, welcome back to another video. In this video we are going to see how we can create a stopwatch app, or let's say a timer app in Flutter, where we have these two options that whenever user tap on this play button, then timer starts, and whenever user tap on this pause button, then timer will pause, and whenever you tap onto this stop button, then timer will restart, not restart exactly, but it will be reset to 00. So let's start the video. So here I have an empty project in which I just have set the background color with the black with some blue, and I have this empty center widget. Okay, for creating the timer app, first we need to use duration class, so come up above here and create a duration variable. So when you initialize this duration variable, then the default value for this duration is 0 hours 0 minutes, and 0 seconds. Now after this we need to use timer class, because we want to increase the time every seconds, so we will use periodic function for increasing the time. So here I've added a timer variable, and as of now let it be empty. Now let's quickly create a basic UI to see the seconds. So inside this center widget here I'm adding a method name as a build timer UI. Okay, now let's just create this method. Now from here we will return a row widget, which will have center axis alignment as center. And one more thing in the center widget, just here add the child, so that this error will leave our code. Now come inside this children widget, first just here add a text widget, in which we will show the seconds, so here use in second parameter of this duration class, and then convert to a string, and then here add the text style. So here I'm adding the color of text as white for this moment, and add the font size to let's say 30, and then add the font weight. Now if you save the code, then we have this tiny error, so let's fix this by adding a semicolon here. Now save the code, then you can see we have 0 here, so now for starting the timer, for this moment just here add the init state and from here call a method as start timer. Now let's create this method. Now here create a variable as add second, and we want to add 1 second each time, so I have added this. Now make use of your timer and here just add timer.periodic thing. Now this timer.periodic will perform some action after every duration which we will provide to it, so we want to increase a second after every second, so here just add the duration, then here add the second as 1, now from here call the add timer method, now also create this add timer method. Now from here what we will do, we want to add 1 second into the current second after it gets started, so for that here make use of duration parameter, now assign the duration class to it. Now we want to increase the second by 1 each time, so inside this duration class add the seconds parameter, then add 1 here, now add this value to the current seconds value, so for accessing that here add duration.in seconds, now this line of code will increase second by 1 in the current seconds value. Now just here add the set state so that UI will get rebuild each time. Now, if you just restart the app, in that case you can see our timer is getting started. So this was the first part which we have completed successfully. Now let's just quickly build the final UI for this. So for here I'm going to create a method as build timer container. Okay, now from here in this method, we will pass 2 parameter to build the UI. So first one is our text widget, and second one is the type to denoting what the hell this counter stands for. So this is the seconds counter, so here just add the second as title. Now create this method. Now come inside this method and from here just return a column widget, then come inside children part, and here add the container widget, which will have a height of 85 and width of 85, okay now add the decoration for it. So here add color as white, okay then add the border radius as 10, now for the child part just add the text widget, and then after this text widget, add sized box of height let's say 20. Then here we need to add the title, so here just use of text widget, and then pass the title, and here add the style. So for this text widget, so here we don't want much styling, so here just add the white color to this text. Now if you save the code, then the container is appeared but it's way too up, so for fixing this just add the main axis alignment as center. Now save the code, then our container is appeared, but now text is not visible, so for that just change the text color to black from white. Now save the code, then timer is visible, and from here change the alignment to the center. Now we want to do the same thing for the minutes and hours, so for that just copy paste it few more time, and here call the in hour and change the title to hour, and do the same for minutes. Now save the code. Now it is looking quietly ugly, so let's add the sized box, which will have some width. Now just save the code and yeah, it's looking fine now. But now you can see that there is single digit for hours and minutes, and second is continuously increasing, so this is not what we want. So for fixing this here, create a string variable which will give 2-digit, so just name it as 2-digit, and here it will have a int value, so I have added that. Now what this will do, this will convert this int value to string, then it will add 2-digit, like if you have a 2-digit, then it will don't do anything, and it if have a single digit, then it will add a 0 to its left side. Okay, now we want that to convert the seconds into exact seconds, like 60 seconds, then it will get reset to 0, so for that here create another string variable as seconds, then here make use of this 2-digit, then he'll add the duration and then in seconds, then here add the remainder of 60. So that after every 60 count, it will be reset to 0, now do the same thing for the minutes and hours, and also change its value from here, then just assign these values to your text widget. Now you save the code, then you can see all these things are looking perfect. Okay, now this was the second thing and this is working fine. Now we want to stop and pause and play button, so for that wrap this row widget inside a column widget, and here add the main axis alignment to center. Now minimize this row widget, and here add the one more container and give it a height of 60 and width of 120, then add the decoration and this is the stop button, so add the color as red accent, and give the border radius of 20 to it. Okay, now if you save the code then the container is appeared, now just add sized box here, so that it will have some spacing from the above timer thing. Now container is looking perfect, now add the child to it, so here add a text widget, then give it a stop thing, and then add the style to this text widget, so here I'm adding the color as white and the font size as 25, and add the font weight. Now save the code and set the alignment to the center. Now save the code and the stop button is looking fine. Now just copy this container and paste it, same for the play button. Now just make sure to change the color to the green and now save the code, and copy paste the same sized box. Now it is looking good. Now just adjust the size until it's not looking perfect. Now we want that whenever the time is running, then this text widget should be paused rather than playing, so that we will create one more variable as is paused, and add the value as true, because whenever the app gets started, then the timer will be paused, then come inside this display method, and wrap this inside the gesture detector, then here add the onTap method and here first reverse the value of is paused, because when timer is playing then we want to stop and the vice versa thing. Then here add the check that if current time is not equals to null then we will call start timer method, otherwise we don't, and after this here add the set state. Now from here remove this init state method, because now we don't need it. Now come inside the start timer method, and here add a check that if is paused is equals to not true, then we will call this method, otherwise we don't. Okay, now let's make some UI changes according to this. So now here when is paused equals to true, in that case we want to show the green, because now user want to play this thing, otherwise we will show the orange color, and we will do same for the text that if it is true then, it will play, otherwise it says pause, and remove the const from here. Now just restart the application and UI is working perfect, because right now timer is paused and we have this play button. Now if I tap onto this button, then the button is changed, but our timer isn't started. So here we just added a wrong condition, so just quickly fix it. Now just restart the whole app again, now tap onto this play button, now this thing is working perfect. Now let's try to pause this timer, so whenever I tap onto this pause button then our timer gets paused, and tap onto this button again then timer get resume, so now play and pause working fine. Now we want to perform this stop thing, so for that first wrap this container inside a gesture detector, and here add the onTap function, and here whenever user will tap onto the stop button, then we want to reset our timer, so here just add duration as 0. Now add set state so that UI will get notified. Now assign the null to the timer, so if you just restart the application, then tap onto the play button timer get started to play, tap onto this pause button timer get paused, now tap to the play button and timer started, and now tap onto the stop button, and timer will get restarted. So here something is going wrong. Okay, here we also need to make this pause equal to true. Now this will work perfectly, so let's try this play and pause, and it is working perfectly. Now tap onto this stop button, and the timer get reset to 0 this time. So yeah, that's what we wanted. Now if you like this video, then please give us a thumbs up, that's motivate me a lot, and if you are not subscribed to Widget Wisdom yet, then please do subscribe to us, that will help a lot to grow the channel.